Joining me tonight, criminal defense attorney Eric Guster and former prosecutor and host of Judge Faith Jenkins. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks, Rev.
Thank you, Reverend Al.
We start with the legal firestorm Rolling Stone may now face. The fraternity at the possible case against Rolling Stone. If a lot of the students are going to graduate, Eric, are there any others that may have a case here?
Yes, sir. I believe the students have the stronger case opposed to the fraternity as a whole, because these students, they were looked at on campus as rapists, as people who raped a woman, took advantage of her, gang raped her, and they're violent people. So they have a strong case individually because their reputations as an individual were damaged by Rolling Stone's article.
Well, no individuals were ever named.
That is true, but they were all members of the same fraternity. And because they were members of Phi Kappa Psi on that campus, they were all individually suspect in this article. That's the damage I see in this case.
It's going to be very complicated. The question comes down to whether he was under his brother's influence at the time. Eric, if everyone agrees he was involved, what do you expect to see from this jury?
The jury is trying to decide whether or not to spare this man's life or not. Every defense lawyer who tries a lot of cases have been in this situation where we've had a case where we have to fall on the sword and say, yes, my client did it, but please spare him the death penalty, don't kill him. And that's what this jury is going to have to decide, because this is essentially a long, drawn-out guilty plea, and the issue is punishment and whether or not he'll be punished by the death penalty or life without parole.
Do you think, Eric, it is possible that he could turn one member of that jury to say, I think he's guilty, but I don't think he should face the death penalty because there's an outside reasonable doubt that maybe his brother influenced him?
That is very possible. When a person is facing the penalty phase of a capital murder trial, they want to beg for their life because they get a chance to look into the eyes of the jurors and say, please don't execute me, and this is why. I was under the influence of my brother. I didn't know what I was doing. I was young. I was influential, and I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry for maiming those people and my part in it, but please spare my life. And sometimes they get that one juror who wants to spare them their life. And just like Faith said, without a unanimous verdict, they can't get a verdict of the death penalty.